Gilbert here, TRAXXfm, Momentum on a midweek. And as we promised you much earlier on, having in the studios with us, every day has different topics. That's from Mondays till Thursdays, different topics on different days. And today, midweek, Momentum, as we will be featuring you a very interesting topic here with our guests in the studios. This is a topic where we will be discussing when it comes to education. And we have our guests in the studios. What Matters, Intan Research Colloqium 2024. And we are talking to our guests in the studios here today with us, Punitha, Veni Muthusamy, who's a senior researcher, fellow National Institute of Public Administration, Intan Public Service Department. A very interesting topic, so do stay tuned with us. But meantime, also like to remind you that we are live on YouTube and also on Facebook. Facebook Live, it is TRAXXfm. Very good morning. Welcome to the show. And Punitha Veni Muthusamy, as I said earlier on, senior researcher, fellow National Institute of Public Administration, Intan Public Service Department, and I will be addressing her as Veni. Veni, a very, very good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Gilbert.
How have you been?
Having me here. Oh, very good.
Not
very
under
good.
the weather or anything like that. We've been having very funny weather conditions.
Yes, not under the weather, and hope to stay that way until the colloquium ends.
Oh, there you go. Responsibilities. Yes,
Right.
definitely. All of us are keeping our fingers and toes crossed not to just fall sick at any time like this, because I think we have a very busy weekend for us on this side here. And also Veni has, I think it's a 2-day event, right?
Right.
So everybody has to stay fit and go.
Yes, the whole team has to stay fit.
No excuses, no MCs, and no whatsoever. All right, there you go.
Right.
Welcome to the studios, Veni. And Veni, is this your first time here in TRAXXfm, by the way?
Yes, Gilbert, it's my first time with TRAXXfm, actually.
All right, welcome to the family. And just before we go on, Veni, I was just having a little read about Colloqium, right?
Right.
And just for the benefit of our listeners, could you please explain a little bit about it? What is it exactly?
Okay, sure. Thanks. Well, basically, this is Intan's signature program, and this is done annually. And we started way back in 2017, and this will be our 8th series this year. And this is basically a platform that we have created for those who have undergone their postgraduate studies, at masters, as well as PhD level, who are public sector employees who have gone through the program, and we give them a platform for them to come and share their research findings, which in turn we will use that to be basis for us to regulate and also draft new policies, regulation, procedures, and how we can actually improve our service delivery system in the public sector.
All right, so that is what Intan Research Colloqium 2024 is all about.
Right.
Veni, is there a theme for this year? We just jump straight into this question. Is there a theme for this year? And could you please elaborate a little bit more on the project?
Theme. Okay, sure. The theme for this year is actually inculcating, preserving, embracing the research culture for a prosperous nation. Okay, why we chose this, maybe I should tell it in BM, it will be melestarikan budaya penyelidikan bagi masa hadapan yang makmur. Why we chose this actually is in the spirit of embracing culture of knowledge sharing in order to further fuel research culture in this country. And also this coincides with the fact that Intan we are observing our month for reading. This July is the reading month for Intan.
All right.
So this is in line with the spirit of this program in nurturing culture, knowledge, and also enhancement for the public sector employees. And besides that, Intan, as we know, we are the national training institute for enhancing skills and capabilities of public sector employees. So we are the atrium for knowledge for the public sector. So we are hoping that the Colloqium can serve as a forum for disseminating knowledge and also sharing knowledge to public sector employees. Apart that, what's going to be interesting about Colloqium this time is that we also want those who are aspiring to further their education for the public sector employees to come because there will be segments which will be very interesting for them to know where they will lesson from those who have completed their studies on time, so that they can find out the tips and tricks how they have done it. Besides that, we also have a short session on APAL. I'm not sure whether you are very familiar with APAL. Probably I will elaborate that a little later, what APAL means. And we actually have a short briefing session from MQA, the Malaysian Qualification Agency,
Right.
who can explain and who will explain what APAL is and how people can actually use experience and convert that into qualifications.
Right. Okay. So that's the the whole understanding of this project that Intan has, right?
Yes.
And today we're talking to Veni, Veni, who's the Senior Research Fellow, National Institute of Public Administration, Intan Public Service Department. And the topic that we are looking into is Intan Research Colloqium 2024, as Veni did explain the research done and what exactly is the Intan Research Colloqium 2024 is. And the theme was mentioned earlier and also the elaboration. Now, this is Momentum on a midweek. And tell you what, we'll be going in for a very, very short break here, a song break, and we'll be back for more questions that we have for Veni. The objective of organizing the annual program, as Veni did mention, I think it's 8 times, right? I mean,
Yes.
The 8th edition
This
already.
will be the 8th edition.
So there you go. Very successful with the project. And when we come back, we'll be hearing more from Veni. Do stay tuned right here, TRAXXfm. Gilbert here on Momentum Midweek, and as you know, second hour of the show every week, different days from Mondays till Thursdays. We have different topics, and on Midweek, it's what matters. Today in the studio, talking to our guest, very interesting topic, as mentioned, which is the Intan Research Colloqium 2024, and we have our guest in the studios, Punitha, Veni Muthusamy, who's the Senior Researcher, Fellow National Institute of Public Administration, Intan Public Service Department. It's nice to have our guest in the studio, and welcome back, Veni.
Thank you.
All right, Veni was explaining to us and what exactly is Colloqium, or the Intan Research Colloqium 2024, and the theme that they have selected for this year. It's been a busy day preparing for a upcoming two-day program, right? Veni, now getting into our topic once again and our questions here. Now, Veni, could you just explain the objective of organizing this annual program? It's an annual program, by the way, and Veni, could you just tell us a little bit more?
Well, the main objective why this program is held annually is actually to provide a platform for graduates that have completed the master's and PhD level that I mentioned just now. These are public sector employees, and most of them go under a JPA scholarship known as the Federal Training Grant, or in Malay is Hadiah Latihan Persekutuan.
Okay.
And this year, we did not only confine to them, we actually have opened up for employees from agencies and any ministries, or even those who did not get that grant, also were encouraged this year to participate in this. Now, other than that, this is also to promote research activities, especially in the public sector, because we want to cultivate research as a learning discourse and also encourage knowledge sharing among the workers in the public sector organizations. And also we want people to make use of results from the research, which can be applied and which can have positive impact on the implementation and drafting and improvement of government policies and development initiatives. So these are our main reason and objective of the colloquium.
Right, there you go. Nicely explained by Veni here. And just to let you know, for the benefit of our listeners, now if you have any comments, or probably we'd like to say good morning to everybody here in the studio. We have a whole team here from Intan, of course, institution. And yes, together with my producers, we got Achu here, we got Rose. Very good morning, guys. And well, if you have any questions, or probably you'd like to say something to Veni, something nice to Veni, well, you could do so on our comment column, which is on Facebook. We are on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. That's TRAXXfm. Now, Veni did explain to us the objective of the annual program. Veni, perhaps you could elaborate a little bit more on the segments and features on this two-day program, this upcoming two-day program. What activities will take place during the programs?
Sure. Okay. Well, this year, the colloquium, we will feature a knowledge discourse forum, or we call it Forum Wacana Ilmu, where we'll be dwelling on the theme of the research colloquium itself, which talks about preserving, inculcating research culture for a prosperous future.
Okay.
So for this segment, we have three actually distinguished panelists that we have invited from University Malaya Wales, who is one of our collaborators this year.
Okay.
We have Professor Emeritus Dr. Ainin Sulaiman. She is the Dean of the Business Faculty. We have Professor Dr. Rusayani Ismail, who is from UUM, who's also another strategic collaborator with us this year.
Okay.
She is the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research and Innovation, University Utara Malaysia. And finally, we have Professor Dr. Jason Chua, the Dean of the Faculty of Law Faculty of University Malaya.
Okay.
Now, apart from that, we also have other interesting contents, like I mentioned just now. We also ran a research poster competition. This was already done. And those who come for our colloquium, you will actually get to see the top 10 finalists of the poster competition being exhibited there.
Right. Okay. It was a competition. It was.
Yes, we did it online.
All right.
We have already selected the winners.
Okay.
But the top 10 posters will be on exhibition.
Right.
And on the second day of the colloquium, during our closing event, we will announce and give away the prizes to the top 3 and also the consolation prize winners.
Nice. Okay. And finally, just before we go in for another break, Veni, could you had mentioned about research findings, research findings presentation. Now, would you explain a little further on this?
Okay, research findings that we have, maybe a few. Now, basically, this year what we did is we have 8 sub-themes where the papers will be presented on.
All right.
And why we chose these 8 sub-themes is because we were taking cue from what the Prime Minister had mentioned during the annual Public Sector Innovation Awards ceremony. He said these 8 areas are the areas where the country has to focus on. That means we need to look at more research. We need to work on these areas. Now, what are the areas? Public policy and governance, definitely.
Okay.
Food safety and technology. Digital transformation, artificial intelligence, climate change, energy transition, cybersecurity, national securities, and border control. So we have presenters, 20 presenters, who will present across these 8 areas that we have identified.
Right. There
So-
you go. Interesting.
Right. So let me share with you some of these selected I feel researchers which will be very interesting.
Okay.
One is we have someone from FRIM, the Forest Reserve Institute of Malaysia, Research Institute, of Malaysia, who will be talking on her research entitled Framework for the Implementation of Tree Protection Provisions in Act 172 for Construction Projects. Now, this talks about importance of green growth, at the same time balancing with development around urban areas. Now, as we know, recently we've heard a lot of falling of trees causing death.
Yep.
Events happening. So it is important for agencies responsible for this issue to study the planning and planting and caring for these trees to ensure a balance between green environment and also development needs of the urban areas.
And how do we blend them both together?
Yes, so
Okay.
please do come and you'll listen this, being presented.
Okay.
The other one which also caught our eye, which very important, is the need for clean water resource.
Right.
A researcher from the Malaysian Nuclear Agency, or MINT, with her study is very significant because she talks about assessment of sewage contamination using chemical markers and nitrate stable isotopes in the Lingi catchment area. This is very significant because Sungai Lingi is very important for the people who are staying in that surrounding area.
Right. Okay.
And this river is said to be exposed to various pollutions that can make the water unusable for use. So there is a multi-marker technique that she has used using nitrogen isotope analysis to ascertain the source of water pollution in this river.
Super interesting, isn't it?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Besides that, we have another one also, which is very interesting. This is a researcher from University Pertahanan Nasional Malaysia, who talks about thermal-resistant composite brick using shredded waste tire. Now, this basically talks about circular economy,
Right.
where we use all forms of waste, such as clothes, scrap metal, obsolete electronic goods, which actually can be returned to the market or reused and repurposed in other forms. So here the researcher is actually done a study, and he has come up saying that you can actually produce a composite brick by adding elements of used tires to a mixture of ordinary bricks. And he says that resulting these new bricks that he has found actually can be more resistant to heat and also have more strength than bricks made from sand.
Wow.
And finally, there's one more which talks about talks about enforcement capacity in the surveillance of our country's maritime borders. This research is named as Research and Development of Underwater Transducer Verification for Maritime Border Surveillance System. And this is from the Maritime Technology Division, Defense Science and Technology Research Institute, STRIKE. So the researcher has said that has a device that's most basic equipment for the purpose of surveillance, detection and communication in the water. And she has done a comprehensive study related to the development of acoustic transducer verification methodology in a controlled laboratory environment. Though this test is only done in an environment, but I think it can be applied in real conditions in the country's waters, and it will also increase the enforcement capacity in actually doing better border surveillance in the country's maritime borders. So these are just samplers of 20 presentations that will be done.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Very interesting. Very, what should I say, related to the surroundings that we are currently facing now. I like the one about the security on the underwater part.
Right.
My goodness. We have always heard about above sea level, but what's happening underneath there?
Right. We are a maritime nation, actually, because we are surrounded by the sea and the ocean, and we are also in between a very volatile area, which is the South China Sea.
Right.
So these are very important topics, very pertinent for us.
And it's very related, I should say.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Veni. Veni, it's so nice to have all this information coming from you, and the project that which is coordinated by Intan itself, which is Intan Research Colloqium 2024. And our guest in the studio is here talking to Veni. I'm just mesmerized with the topics just now. I was just taken out. It's simply amazing to see that all these things that there is out there, and some of us are just not attentive to projects like this that has been organized by the government or semi-government agencies and institutions. But nevertheless, we'll be taking a short break, coming back, and we will be talking to Veni with more about the program very casually here as we got into depth with the topics that we were talking to Veni about. So going in for a short break, coming back right after a song break, and it's going to be more on today's topic. Intan Research Colloqium 2024. We're talking to Punitha Veni Muthusamy, who's the Senior Research Fellow, National Institute of Public Administration, Intan Public Service Department. Stay with us, don't go anywhere. Back in a bit. what matters. That's a very interesting topic, talking to our guests in the studios. Intan Research Colloqium 2024. We're talking to Punitha Veni Muthusamy, who's the Senior Research Fellow, National Institute of Public Administration, Intan Public Service Department. And the topic today, very interesting topic. I had my jaw almost dropping off with some of the interesting topics that they have for this particular two-day program. And getting into more of the questions, but just before we get into the final three questions that we have here for Veni, Veni, you did mention much earlier about APEL.
Right.
Yes, could you explain a little bit about
Sure.
APEL?
This time we have a briefing on APEL. Now, what is APEL? Actually, it stands for Accreditation for Prior Experiential Learning Qualification. So this is actually a systematic process that involves the identification, documentation, and evaluation of learning based on previous experience as an alternative to obtaining a master's degree or also a PhD degree.
Right.
So you want to know how to convert your experience, which will tend to amount to a master's degree or a PhD degree. So we actually have someone from Malaysian Qualification Accreditation Agency, MQA,
Okay.
that will be sharing, so that you know how to do that.
Right.
And besides that, besides APEL, which is very interesting, we are also this time will be featuring 3 of our graduates who
Okay.
have received the Federal Training Scholarship to share their experiences about their journey in obtaining their doctorates, where they were able to complete the postgraduate program successfully within the stipulated time. So this is because there is a perception that it is a challenging task, and to graduate on time, especially for doctoral students, it's quite a monumental task. But
Yes.
we actually have 3 people in a segment called GOT. It's not a myth. What is GOT? Graduate on time. It's not a myth. So you actually have
Okay.
success stories. So they're going to share how they went through it, some tips, and also their experiences. Now, beside that, Gilbert, I also want to the listeners and viewers know that we also have a booth by several higher learning institutions
Okay.
like UKM, City University, info booth by JPA. Those who are interested, aspiring to continue their studies, you can come there. We have LHDN, KWSP, PTPT, and DPP, and so many others.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the...
The question now, this is something that I'm personally interested in. Okay, I don't care. Next year I'm going to make it for this one here if I can.
Okay.
Veni, the program, as you mentioned, now is it open for everyone?
Yes, participation is open for everyone. Of course, all these years we have just confined to public sector employees. This year we are opening up. You can come from the academia, even private companies who are interested to know
Right.
about research findings. It's open. We would like to encourage students from the higher learning institutions,
Right.
from the public training institutes. It's open. So anybody and everybody can actually join in the colloquium this year.
Right, and just to let our listeners know, this is going to be their 8th edition
Right.
of the program. It's a 2-day program, and Veni, what would you expect the outcome from this year's program?
Okay, we are looking at the outcome is basically, this is Intan's mission, that we want to develop excellent public sector human capital through quality learning. So definitely this colloquium is expected to contribute and provide added value in terms of increased efficiency and work performance through the application of research recommendations that we will hear,
All right.
and also to cultivate the research knowledge and also research culture, so that it contributes towards decision-making processes, innovative solutions, and improvement of all government initiatives.
Nice. Veni, just say, for instance, I would like to register myself, or I would like to find out more details. Could you say, would you like to say something about,
sure.
how do we
You
get
can
in touch?
actually visit our Intan portal.
Okay.
You can go there, or you can frequent, or you have to go towards our social media pages, Intan, Bukit Kiara. We have IG, we also have Facebook. We have the links for you to actually register and to attend the program. And also I'd like to mention on the day, on the 10th, the officiating ceremony as well as the knowledge discourse forum that I mentioned will be on FB Live. And the closing ceremony as well will be on FB Live. And if possible, we will try to get the graduate on time segment as well. So please visit our social media pages to keep yourself updated.
What were the social media pages again, Veni?
Instagram, Intan Bukit Kiara, and also our Facebook, Intan Bukit Kiara, and Intan portal itself.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Veni. It was really, really interesting, especially when you were talking about the topics that will be discussed on the 2-day program. Very interesting here. Thank you so much, Veni. It's so nice to have you here in our
Yeah, I
studios.
hope to see you in Intan Bukit Kiara on the 10th and 11th of July. Okay.
Will do so. Boss, did you hear that? Okay.
Thank you, Gilbert.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies. Once again, for those of you who just happened to join us on the show, it's Intan Research Colloqium 2024, and we were talking to Punitha Veni Muthusamy, who's the Senior Research Fellow, National Institute of Public Administration, Intan Public Service Department. Very interesting topic today on Midweek, What Matters. Thank you so much to my producer. We have Rose, Lisham, thank you, and to Achu, thank you so much for being in the studio here, and to the team Intan. Thank you guys. Very good morning to you. It's news coming up at midday. That's in 9 minutes from now, so do stay tuned. I'll be back right after that.